Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. My name is NURUL Asyikin BINTI Ahmad. My matric number is 050535. Today I will be presenting on the Online Scamming Protection Act 2022. This is the act drafted by members of the Group 19. First of all, the reason why this act is being drafted is due to the rising cases related to online scamming in Malaysia. This Online Scamming Act Protection 2022 is classified into 4 categories, which is the first part cover on the preliminary, part 2 regarding the offences, part 3 relate to the protection of the victims, and lastly the jurisdiction in civil and also in criminal. This act applies to people residing in Malaysia and also the citizens of Malaysia. The first part of the act covers the interpretations of wording in the act. As an example, an instant messaging system is any text-based communication between 2 or more people by using an electronic devices. Nowadays, we use WhatsApp or SMS as a way to communicate by texting people. Another interpretation of the word phishing is mean any online act of tricking another person to give their personal information in return to obtain money from them. There are so many more wordings such as e-commerce scam and online dating that are provided in the act. Moving into the next point, which cover the offences. Firstly, it is the cheating offences, which this provision is on the section 4 of the Act. These provisions of section 4 stated that any person shall be guilty of the cheating offences if falsely or dishonestly cause the victim to transfer over the property or money to another person, or they shall be liable if intentionally induce a deceived victim to do something he will not have done or omit something he would have done. Moreover, to be convicted under this section, it must cause or likely to cause bodily, mentally, reputational, or material injury to the victim. The punishment by these offences shall be imprisonment for not exceeding 5 years, fine, or both. As there is a modern technology now, this provision might be useful to protect the victim from being an injured person to an online scamming. Under Section 4A, there is a provision related to cheating by call or text. Any person that guilty under the offences provided in Section 4 by way of call or text with the cheating purposes, he shall be liable for imprisonment not exceeding 5 years with a fine not exceeding 30,000 ringgit or both. If there is a subsequent conviction of this offence, the person shall be liable for the imprisonment not as exceeding 7 years of fine and not exceeding 50,000 ringgit or both. The next offences that covers this act is dishonest or fraudulent online scamming, inducing delivery of property. In this provision, the statement that is false or believe that the statement to be false and cause another person to believe it is true, and there is a deliver of property to any person, this is said to commit dishonest or fraudulent online scamming inducing delivery of the property. This provision is based on the Islamic jurisprudence approach, in which a person who is guilty of causing an imbalance, which is qarar or tikra, with intent to deceive another person and commit the fraud shall be punished with imprisonment not less than 1 year and not more than 10 years, and with whipping, and shall be liable for fine. Based on Roscoe Pound theory, which is the scholar of sociological jurisprudence, the law may satisfy the needs and wants of the society at the maximum level with the least or minimum friction in achieving such ideal. Based on the offences of phishing, this provision is to protect the victim personal information and any fraudulent operation in a way that conducted by email, instant messaging, phone call, VoIP, which is Voice over Internet Protocol, or any of the mixed these technology tools. If a person is found to be guilty for manufacturing or having ownership of the phishing kit or any other material that used to fraud the victim, he can be punished by imprisonment not less than 2 years and not more than 10 years, or a fine not less than 50,000 ringgit and not more than 100,000 ringgit, or both at the discretion of the court. Other than the offences mentioned, there are 3 more offences that drafted in this act, which is e-commerce fraud, online dating scam, and abetment and attempt of the offences. To summarize, whoever deal with any transaction, arrangement, agreement, contract, or any exchange of the information in the type of electronic shall be liable for imprisonment of 10 years or maximum fine of 50,000 ringgit, or both. Next is the provision 8, which is online dating scamming is occur throughout the social media application, call, email, online messaging, fraudulent advertisement, or any online platform, and whoever faking their identity or not, but to put trust and having a relationship with another person with the intention to scam or asking for money will be liable for this provision, and if found guilty, it shall be punished with the imprisonment of extend to 2 years or fine, or both. Lastly, someone who abets or attempt to do such offences mentioned will be punished according to the such offences, and this is under provision 9. Under the part 3, which is the protections of the victim, it said that any person who is the victim of the online scamming may lodge a report to the police and to the Bank Negara Malaysia or any related financial institution to get help for rejecting any transaction from the bank account. The jurisdictions of online scamming is under provision 11, which is it consists of civil jurisdiction and also criminal jurisdiction. And the difference between the two jurisdictions is if a prosecutor bring in the case, and it shall be a criminal jurisdiction. That's all from me, sir. Thank you so much, sir.